Crossroads. Each week, Chevrolet presents a true story based on the actual experiences of American clergymen, priest or rabbi, the men who give inspiration and guidance to people at the crossroads of life. Tonight, Sky Pilot of the Cumberlands, starring Donald Woods in the story of Reverend Hiram M. Frakes, now of Frakes, Kentucky.
Nestled deep in the Cumberland Mountains of Kentucky is Middle Laurel Fork, populated solely by feuding mountaineers. For generations, the Sanderson clan had carried on a feud with the Mayfields, their traditional enemies. And the Reverend Hiram Frakes, the local Methodist minister, spent most of his time trying to stop the endless chain of reprisals.
And all because of something that happened over 100 years ago. Something that nobody even remembers. You Sandersons and Mayfields persist in gunning for one another. How many does this make, Bill? 4?
No, 5.
5 men killed over some trifling difference of opinion.
Well, it was only Mayfield that I shot.
And now the Mayfields won't rest until they get themselves a Sanderson.
Ain't never been no different.
But every time a man is shot, the laws of God and the state are broken. Thou shalt not kill.
Well, it don't necessarily apply to Kentucky.
When the Lord made the earth, Wild Bill, I think he included the state of Kentucky, too.
Well, maybe so, but still got to have proof, don't they? Nobody around here is going to say I killed nobody.
I wouldn't be too sure of that.
Well, a judge has been talking to people for a couple of days now. He can't even get himself a witness. Why, Parson, by the night I'll be out of here as free as a bird.
Maybe this time you won't.
Well, just you don't be late for that trial, or you have to miss it altogether.
Constable, do you mean to tell me that you couldn't get one Mayfield to come into this court and testify that their uncle had been shot?
That's right, Your Honor. Must have been a half dozen of them around when it happened.
And you explained that just one witness could convict this man?
Judge, you know as well as I do how these mountain people think. They're bound and determined to keep their mouths shut and take care of their own affairs.
Well, don't they know that they're breaking the law every time they do that?
They live by their own law, and I can't do a thing about it. It's been going on for 100 years, Judge.
This is the 20th century. You are an officer of the law. Why don't you enforce it?
When you get up around Middle Laurel Fork, being a constable does more harm than good. I'm sick and tired of the whole thing, Judge. They're just beyond hope.
Living like a pack of wildcats. Next month, the Sanderson will get it. And a Mayfield will come up before me here. And we'll have to go through all this rigmarole again. More people have been killed in your hills than in all the rest of Kentucky put together. You're a disgrace to your state and the country. But I don't suppose you'd understand that. You want to keep on living in the dark ages and never grow up. All right. Go on back to Middle Laurel Fork and kill yourselves off. Case dismissed.
The judge sure talks pretty words, don't he? Come on, boys.
And since Wild Bill and I are old friends, I just figured it was time for me to pay him and his kin a little visit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, except it ain't likely it should come way up here without some purpose.
No. I wanted to find out for myself whether it's true that you people are living in the dark.
Now, Parson, you know that the sun shines up here in the hills just as well as it does anywhere else.
I mean the dark ages, Wild Bill.
Huh?
Well, that's what everybody in Kentucky is saying about Middle Laurel Fork. I should think you folks would want to keep up to date.
We do. Now, how do you aim to set up our calendar for us?
By putting up these buildings.
What's that supposed to be?
Well, that's a school.
A school?
Mm-hmm. And right in front of it is a farm where the youngsters can learn scientific agriculture. And here's a library filled with good books. And over here is a shop where the boys can learn to handle tools and a kitchen where the girls can learn to be good cooks.
Oh. Did you hear that, Mama? And what's this?
That's the church where we can all worship together.
Praying and singing hymns. Oh, Ma.
You gonna give us all this free?
I should say not. Oh, I'll do my share. But you men have got to work and chip in the land.
And you're planning a kind of a swap of the church and the school for the land, is that it?
That's about the size of it.
How come nobody ain't never thought of talking to us before about this?
How come you never let anybody talk to you about it before?
Well, I just can't answer that, Parson. But now that you brought it up, I think we can do it.
It's about time the young'uns went to school.
Reading and writing. Think of it, Sam.
I am.
Pa, figuring could come in mighty handy.
Parson, I got 68 acres I'm going to give you for a starter.
I'll see my bishop in Cincinnati right away.
All right.
Say, his name is Sanderson.
Is that a fact?
With his permission, we'll call it the Sanderson School, in his honor and yours, too.
The Sanderson School. Hey, I like that. I like that fine.
I'll be back right after I make all the arrangements. Oh, thanks, Jet.
You know, I just can't imagine a school named after an ignorant varmint like me.
Bill, we're only as ignorant as we choose to be. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye, Parson.
Schoolhouse. Church. Not while us Mayfields are around.
Boys, don't put anything inside the barn until it's thoroughly clean.
Well, you heard what the parson said. Let's stack all them desks over here.
Yeah, but we just scrubbed the barn from top to bottom.
Scrub it again. Can't expect youngsters to learn anything surrounded with germs.
That's what I've been a-telling them for nigh on to 5 years.
You won't have to tell no more, Ma.
Parson, you've been doing an awful lot of talking about germs now. I've been here for quite a spell, and they ain't never hurt me none.
That's 'cause you're so thick-skinned you can't feel anything, old man.
Maybe I haven't that. Hey, you going to be needing all them books? Man, that sure is a heap of learning.
You, want to give us a hand, Ezra? Don't you have youngsters? How many?
7, I think.
Ezra, you talking or happen?
Neither.
Well, then get.
I'm not the only one in these hills that don't believe in no schools or churches or nothing.
I said get!
Well, the Mayfields are about the only ones left who are against it.
You been talking to Mayfields?
I'd rather die first.
Because if I ever catch you talking to him, that's just what you gonna do.
Easy now, Bill. At the first sign of trouble, even with your own kin, the bishop will take away all this equipment. Then we won't have a school at all. You just let me handle Ezra. I'll find out what's bothering him. All right?
All right.
Ezra.
Well, I never thought I'd live to see the day when I couldn't trust one of my own kin.
Now, forget it. Let's fight germs instead. It's healthier.
Sanderson School.
Would you all like to pray and give our thanks?
We sure would. But I don't think we rightly know how, Parson.
Well, it's not hard at all. We thank thee, O Lord, for thy blessings. With your help and guidance, our school will flourish and grow, and peace and light will descend on these hills. Amen.
Amen. You really think the Lord heard him, Ma?
He heard us all right, son. Father, if this is the way I was meant to die, I'm not afraid. Forgive this man, for he is afraid. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Parson, you all right?
Not even a scratch.
You're sure a cool one, Parson. You might have been killed if we hadn't come a-running.
Not today, Jed.
I knowed I couldn't trust that Ezra Perkins. What do you mean, not today?
Well, Ezra's a pretty good shot, isn't he?
Well, he can knock the eye out of a spare at 50 yards. I know, I learned him.
He fired at me 3 times.
He did.
And still he missed? Can't you understand, Pa?
I don't care. I'm going to blow him in the kingdom come.
Now, come on,
I don't think
Pa.
we're meant to do any more shooting around here.
Sam's right, Pa. No more shooting.
Well, I like that. My own flesh and blood turning against me.
No one's turning again you, Pa. But the Lord meant it to be this way.
Else the parson here'd be lying stone cold dead.
That's a fact, Wild Bill. I want you to promise me not to go after Ezra.
Parson, I ain't going to promise you nothing. Now, I'll let you come here and start your school and get everybody all riled up. Now you're telling me what I can do and what I can't do. Well, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I ain't going to stand for it.
He'll plug Ezra for sure.
Stop him. You gotta stop him.
Sam, wait for me.
Early the next morning, Reverend Hiram Frakes returned, bringing with him the first teacher from outside the mountains who ever dared to set foot in Middle Laurel Fork.
I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Come on, Ma. This ain't no place for women folk.
Well, there he is, Parson. I've been a-looking all night for him.
Give his gun back to him, Bill.
Well, now, looky here,
Give
Parson.
him his gun. Feel stronger now?
Mine ain't it.
You so much as make one move, and so help me,
You could have plugged me a dozen times, Bill, yet you didn't. So don't reckon you're aiming to now.
Speaking of aim, yours was a little off yesterday, wasn't it? For a minute or two there, you had me really scared, Ezra. Almost as scared as you were.
I ain't never been as scared of nothing in my life.
I think you're afraid right now.
You're just trying to make Bible slingers out of us, that's what.
There's nothing wrong with the Bible.
Next thing you'll be asking us to quit making moonshine.
I've had that in mind.
Then we can all starve to death.
He's quite a Joshua, ain't he, boy? Hey, Parson, you ain't really serious about asking us to stop making moonshine, are you?
I am. And since you're the leader around here, you can start right now by busting up that still.
See there, Bill? Didn't you hear him? First you let your gun rust, bust up your still, turn the hills over to the Mayfields. Then we can all look to the parson to keep us alive.
And with the help of the Lord, I'll do it.
Just you never mind the Lord. How are we going to make a living?
Ezra, it sure takes you a long time to get to the point. So that's what's been worrying you.
Now, hold on, Parson. How are we going to make a living?
What would you say if I told you that everybody who helps build the new school and church gets paid a salary every week?
You're going to pay us to work, Parson?
More than you can ever make selling moonshine.
That's good enough for me.
Me too.
Yeah, well, what are we waiting for? Come on, boys. Oh, I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Well, what do you say, Ezra?
I guess I was a mite afeard, Parson.
That makes two of us. You won't be needing this any longer.
But what if the Mayfields come gunning for us?
They won't. Once the word gets out, the Sandersons have put their guns away.
Could my kids go to that school?
Anytime you want to send them.
In the weeks that followed, Reverend Hiram Frakes spent all of his spare time soliciting funds for the new schoolhouse and church. One of his first replies came from Mrs. Maybelle Brinkley, a wealthy widow living in Louisville.
But being a Yankee, are you certain you can keep those hillbillies under control?
Well, I can't give you anything in writing, if that's what you mean.
But you have faith in your ability. Is that it?
Well, not just in my ability, in all of the people of Middle Laurel Fork. Also, I think they're going to find it's a lot more fun and more profitable to make buildings than it is to make whiskey.
So you hired them?
I did. Now, I'm praying that I'll be able to pay them.
Pastor, any man who can pray well enough to get himself out of the situations in which you found yourself deserves all the support he can get. Chester, I'll underwrite your school.
Well, that's wonderful,
And
Mrs.
my
Brinkley.
checkbook, please. But if I find those hillbillies are making trouble, I'll cancel my support completely. Agreed?
Agreed. And God bless you, Mrs. Brinkley.
Since you asked him, I'm sure he will.
Bill, the money's been raised.
You done it, huh?
Yep. In a day or two, the lumber and cement will be here. Then we can start laying the foundation.
Oh, good. That'll be the day. Looky here. We don't stack the guns in the open no more.
I spotted that the moment I came up the path.
That quarter section over there's all been cleared.
That looks nice.
Sam and Jed's are working over the rise, putting down fence post holes. Gee, they'd appreciate it if you'd go over and look at them.
Ezra Perkins been behaving himself?
Like a little lamb. His kids is all over in the schoolhouse now, all 7 of them.
7, eh? Then he does know how many he had.
Well, he wasn't sure till the teacher called a roll.
How about here?
You have to go a mite further if you want to look even.
Stay right there.
You get off on our land, Charlie Mayfield.
Tain't your land.
Our marker's yonder.
Pick up them shovels and fill up them holes. You're on Mayfield property.
You're a liar.
Did I hear right what you said?
You heard what I said. I called you a liar.
No Sanderson ever called a Mayfield a liar and lived.
Charlie Mayfield! Charlie, hold your fire! We all through with shooting here.
You're the one that's through, Wild Bill.
What happened here?
It's too late, Parson.
Who did this?
Charlie Mayfield done it. He didn't even have a chance. Shot it down like a dog. And us standing with picks and shovels instead of rifles. Boys, get our guns.
Sam, now listen to me.
There ain't nothing more you can say, Parson.
My pappy's dead. Killed by a Mayfield. And a Mayfield's gonna pay.
A Mayfield will pay in court. I'll notify the county police. They'll find Charlie Mayfield and arrest him. You and Sam can testify that it was murder.
That ain't our way.
It's the only way, Jed. If you go backwards now, we'll lose everything we've gained.
An eye for an eye. That's what it says in the Bible.
And that's the way it'll be. Justice will be done. That's the will of the Lord. Don't do anything you'll be sorry for. At least let me conduct a service for Bill. You owe that to your mother.
Reckon we do, Sam. Ma'd like that.
All right, Parson. We can wait till it's over.
Thank you for saying the words, Parson.
It was Bill's favorite song.
I don't suppose we'll be seeing you anymore.
Now, why do you say that, Sarah? Our work here is just beginning.
Parson, you done what you wanted. Now we got a job to do.
Each of us must do what we believe is right.
And don't you try to stop us.
But I know what's right. I know that before the day's out, Charlie Mayfield will be arrested and put in jail. I promise you that. You trusted me before. Trust me now.
Well, if he's going to be in jail, I don't reckon there's much more to be said.
All right, Sam. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll go to work.
Help it, they won't.
All right, Constable. We don't want any trouble in here. Just turn him over to us.
Can't do that, Sam. He's being held for trial.
Don't care whether you can or you can't, but you're gonna. You keep out of this, Parson.
You ought to know by this time that your guns don't frighten me.
He killed Wild Bill and he's gonna pay.
He will pay. He'll go on trial, and for the first time in your lives, one of you is going to testify.
I ain't a-hearing another word.
You'll have to shoot me first, Jed.
If I have to, I will.
So you could be known as Wild Jed?
Yes. Wild Jed. Is that the way you want to be remembered? As the man who finished the first school in Middle Laurel Fork before it even got started?
Open the door, Constable.
Sam, it isn't just what you and I want. Think of the future. The school, the church, the boys and girls who could grow up into healthy, useful men and women. And if Bill could talk to you now, he'd tell you that's what he wanted too.
But Bill ain't here. He can't talk.
He's with us. I know he is. Men, you know I'm right. Surely everything we've tried to do here hasn't been in vain. Ezra, Jed, Sam.
No, Parson. It ain't all in vain. Put down your guns. All of you. Whether you do or you don't, I'm testifying. Jed, I'm awaiting.
Jed, you can't fight everybody.
My grandpappy once told me something years back. I never believed it was true. Now, I know he was right and I was wrong. You know what he said, Parson? Effing you can't lick 'em, join 'em. Get! The Sandersons will be in court just like you want them to. And the sooner we get it over with, the faster we can work on them foundations. Parson.
Yes?
We're mighty glad you came to Middle Laurel Fork.
So am I.
Today in Frakes, Kentucky, named after the minister in our story, what was once a cabin is now this fine institute of learning.
Stories for Crossroads are selected by our Board of Advisors, Captain Maurice M. Witherspoon, Father George B. Ford, and Dr. William F. Rosenblum.